Oh, this is the new raid. I feel it. Look at the hairs on my hand. I'm not sure if it's gonna capture it. The game director said that this raid will change MMORPGs forever. Just look at this. Wow. Look. Look, he's walking upside down in the raid. Oh, new class Sorceress. Yes. Oh, look at that lightning. So beautiful. Oh, and that fireball from the skies. Yes. Wow. This looks so cute. Look at this mini games as an event for summer. Look at this. I love this idea. I love that they're doing this. Good job. I want to go to paradise. Look at the Mexican Mokoko. This is awesome. That was fantastic. Did you see that mustache? Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm so excited to tell you what's gonna happen in Lost Ark for the rest of 2021. All of these things are gonna come for us in the West also at one point. I hope that many of the things that I'm gonna show you are gonna be there from the start. I'm gonna discuss that topic also today. We're gonna talk about so many changes in the game. Basically, Lost Ark is becoming 10 times better than it is right now, and I just have to say straight from the get-go how much I appreciate these devs for their work on Lost Ark. Some of you are asking me, hey, is this game being taken care of? My god, is it being taken care of. It has changed so much, and so much to the better since day one of release that I cannot even tell you. And with this patch, with this roadmap that they just announced today in a big stream they had in Korea, oh my god, let's just get into it. I want to start off with something that's probably the highlight of this whole thing for most people, not necessarily for me, and I know this is weird, I'm gonna tell you why later, but this is something that I am also very much in love with. It's a raid that's coming up next month, and this is a raid that the game director said is going to change MMORPGs forever. I believe him because he knows what he's talking about. This is something that's very, very difficult. It's something that at specific checkpoints during the raid you can stop, get out, go to sleep, and try again tomorrow. That's how hard this is, and that's how long this is going to be. This raid and the ideas behind it is a first for Lost Ark, where before you entered the raid when it was released, you tried a little bit, maybe a day, 2, 3, and then eventually you were able to finish it. Raids in Lost Ark last 20 minutes, not 3 days, as this raid apparently takes for you to finish in your group. So very, very nice. I was looking forward to extremely difficult content in Lost Ark. Not that we in the West are going to get this from the get-go, because this comes with a specific tier of gear that needs to come first before it, obviously. But I'm just saying, so much potential down the road for us in the West also, because we're receiving all of this eventually. Very, very nice. Good work on implementing something that takes days to finish in terms of difficulty. Just a round of applause, because I absolutely love the idea. So shall we take everything else by calendar month, or shall I tell you that there's a new class coming up with this patch as well, translated as the Sorceress. This is a female gender class that is a typical mage. You saw my initial reaction to this class for the few seconds it had in the trailer, and I'm very excited for this, not for me personally, even though I think I will love this class as much as I loved most of the other new classes that they have released, but for the people who actually wanted in Lost Ark a magey mage. This is something that deals with the elements, this is something that deals with casts, so this is going to be right up the alley of the people who are missing this kind of a mage in Lost Ark, because quite frankly it is missing, and it has been missing since day one. Now this particular class is actually rumored to come out to the West right from day one, so I'm very excited to see if this rumor will actually come true, because I believe it would be a brilliant idea. Now that we got the two main highlights for most people out of the way, I wanna start with everything else, because there is so much more how the game is changing to the better. First of all, they're gonna add the second legendary avatar. Avatars in Lost Ark, for those of you who are new, are skins, and generally legendary skins look really, really badass. The next thing is a new equipment slot, the bracelet. Now this used to be in the game some time ago. They removed it. They wanted to make it a seasonal thing. So now it's back in the game, and we don't exactly know if it's going to be the same as it was, or they have revamped it in any way. I didn't necessarily like this when it was in the game initially. I think in general, I don't want to see more slots that you need to work for in terms of your gear in Lost Ark. I think the ones that we have, there's plenty and there's enough of them. Having another piece of equipment that you need to spend your time doing things for is not necessarily something that's missing in my book in Lost Ark. Then we have character voice selection. You can now choose from a variety of voices in character customization. This is something that for many of you must be like, hey, of course you can choose. Even 20-year-old MMORPGs have voice choices, not Lost Ark. So this is very nice, and this is something that should be there from the beginning. And we've arrived at the highlight for me personally out of this patch, which is a DPS meter for Lost Ark. Can you believe it? A DPS meter after 2.5 years of the game being out. We have a legit official DPS meter. Now this only works in Trixion or Trixion for us in the West. If you summon a dummy, you can, you know, do DPS tests there. I really hope that you know, looking at this DPS meter, it's very basic, right? I really hope that maybe in the future this can be updated with a lot more features that you can possibly test if you just want to test specific categories. Now, I also know that there's many of you who believe that having a DPS meter in games kind of ruins the experience because it makes people be more toxic to people who don't do as good DPS or whatnot. This is only available, as I said, for the training dummy in Trixion, and there's nothing to worry about in that sense. I absolutely love this, not only because of the DPS meter, which is great. I love numbers and I love doing DPS tests and trying different builds out and finding maybe things that I enjoy playing that others don't, and they're actually very viable. So for me, this is absolutely golden, and I just want to say thank you, Smilegate, for this DPS meter. This is the best present that I can possibly get in Lost Ark as a player. And the whole idea that they are seeing people wanting this and working on adding things to Lost Ark that's not only dungeon raid, and more skins. There's also these kinds of things that you wouldn't necessarily think someone's gonna do them. These devs, I said it at the beginning, I'm not gonna say it again, but man, these people, their work for this game is just absolutely great. Ester Weapons is a set of weapons for each class that is going to be apparently extremely hard to upgrade, and it requires a lot of dedication to work on them. How good they're gonna be, you can only imagine that they're gonna be really good if the devs said, or the game director said, that you require a lot of work on these weapons, right? And they're gonna be expensive, and not to mention they look badass, right? Especially when they are enchanted. I think my memory doesn't play tricks on me, and the more you enchant them, the more badass they look, and they get these kinds of bigger and bigger effects. I believe that this was the case in the last year's Lost Ark Loa On when they explained this, but I could be wrong. Next we have, what do we have? Group chat system. This is basically like chat rooms that you can create in game to invite people in. They don't necessarily have to be your friends. I don't know, if you're a popular streamer, you can create a chat group in the game with I don't know, your subscribers, right? Or guilds or friends from different guilds or whatnot. New prologue and adventurer's path. This is something for new players for the beginning 10 levels, which are gonna be streamlined or better to play or easier, or they're gonna teach you more than the current ones do, because let's face it, you don't necessarily learn much anything right now in your prologue. So this being in a different setting, as I see, and played differently, might actually be good. Very many things that we have seen so far I would really wish to have for the Western release, but we're gonna go at the end of the video over through them. Pet Ranch, translated as, this is a gathering of your pets. This looks to be your housing plot, and all of your pets can be here. What can they do? We don't know exactly. Maybe it's just looks. but knowing Lost Ark, it's never just looks, so they might actually have some they might actually be gaining something or getting something, or you might be getting something from these pets. A redo for a system that's very, very important in game, and that is the calendar of events. Many of you who are not used to Lost Ark and are new players will actually have to get used to looking at this calendar, because there's so many things happening in the world of Lost Ark at specific times, and you need to kind of keep track of them if you want to know them and do them and go there when the time is right. Inventory redo or reorganization with one extra tab that will contain some materials that you used to have a lot from in your bag, so that is again another quality of life change. Then we have integrated presets. This means this is a preset in Lost Ark that contains your whole life. You can have your gear and accessories, you can have a soulstone, you can have the seal books here, the gems, the skills, the card deck. And you know what's funny? That we talked so much about all of these other interesting things that they are releasing and how the game is changing with every single year, but we didn't even get the opportunity to talk about normal things that you as an MMORPG player expect from an update in an MMORPG, right? Like dungeons and raids, more content. This dungeon right here, and then we have it in September, this raid right here, this one, this one, this one. I didn't even get to talk about this. There's plans of adding more equalized PvE content, more of these existing raids in an equal kind of footing. So there is so much normal content also being added that is just absolutely ridiculous. Now, I do want to mention at the end of the video that I do hope we will get for the West some of these things that are actually important. I want to mention that, for example, Japan was the first region to get the fresh release, actually the only region to get a fresh release with Season 2. However, to be noted that when Japanese players were playing the beta tests, Season 2 was not even fully out in Korea. So they already had stuff that for Koreans was just at the stage of being announced. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that we in the West are actually going to get most of these things, at least the quality of life changes. Of course, not the hardest raid and stuff and the gear tiers, but just saying, for example, character voice selection. This can easily be implemented to the Western version of the game, because if you look at this, by the way, just want to tell you that all of these things that we talked about are happening in July, August and September. Our release is actually in October. After this, there is no October plans here. There's more things coming to Lost Ark for the last 3 months. Like, for example, the PvP, the open world PvP continent Rowan. This one, the DPS meter, can easily be done for the West. Oh my god, I hope they... Group chat system, why not do it for the West? Very easy. New prologue and adventurous path. Do it for the West as well. Very nice. The pet ranch. Why don't you do this? Pet farm on your housing plot. We have housing, right? Let's do the pet ranch as well. What else? Calendar reshuffle. Absolutely. Do it. The old one is old. This one's better. This right here, absolutely a must. If there is so much goodness coming to this tier 1 and 2 segment of item level, why don't you add it to the West as well? This would be absolutely amazing. You know what? The more I think about it, maybe they've actually done this for the West. You know, just a change for the West. I don't think Koreans care about this. They all boost up to 50 and get this, for example, you know, like the redone inventory space. Why not? This is very, very nice. So this is my point. There are a lot of things that could potentially be done. And by the way, why don't we get the... No, it's autumn when we get the game, so we're not going to get any summer event. This was everything I wanted to talk about in this video. I thank you so much for watching as always. If you want to try Lost Ark in Korea, I have my guide in the description below teaching you how. If you want to try Lost Ark anywhere else, again, in the description below. Everything I talked about in terms of showing you in the video is linked in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you really soon. Until then, stay safe and take it easy.